Have you ever heard a theory so good it felt like a spoiler? It really is a strange blend of excitement and disappointment when you do. Well, recently, we have heard some really good ones, and we compiled them into a neat, numbered list and felt like sharing them with you. So here's 5 One Piece theories so good, they might be true. Number 5. Tama and Hitetsu's lineage. With Kanjuro proving in the last few chapters to be irredeemably evil, it is starting to seem like the Kurozumi family won't be getting a redemption arc, and the country of Wano is going to continue the cycle of hate that gave birth to Orochi in the first place. Unless, that is, Oda has had something up his sleeve this whole time. After all, Oda no doubt will want to address Wano's rather deep-rooted prejudices at some point. That, according to this theory, is where Tama comes in. As a purple-haired little girl of mysterious origin, many have speculated that she could be related to the similarly pigmented Orochi. While there isn't much tangible evidence to support this theory, the implications would be rather exciting, as this time it would be a Kurozumi who helped save Wano, which would perhaps give the people a different perspective on the previously maligned family. Of course, we also need to talk about Hitetsu. Hitetsu has a weird fascination with dolls, the same kind of dolls that are collecting dust in the basement of the flower capital. He is also mysteriously in possession of Odin's 2 swords. These interesting coincidences, combined with his age, and the fact that when Odin asked Orochi about the fate of his father, we were left without an answer, have led some to believe that Hitetsu is in fact Odin's father and Momo's grandfather. This would also explain why Hitetsu couldn't go into town and wears a mask. All the evidence does seem to line up well here, leaving only the question, why would Odin's father be looking after a Kurozumi kid? If you have the answer to this question, we'd sure like to know. Number 4. Buggy will join the crew. This is a fun theory spun from what we see in Oda's early one-shot of the One Piece story. Basically, it was a pilot chapter meant to sell the idea of One Piece and get him serialization for it. In it, we see an arc somewhat like Orange Town, with a female named Silk, who is very like Nami, teaming up with Luffy to take down a silly-looking pirate named Crescent Galley. Once the story moved to actual serialization, it was finalized into what we know and love today, with Orphan Silk being replaced with Nami, and Galley apparently being replaced by Buggy. Interestingly though, at the end of the one-shot, Galley joins Luffy's crew. This has led some to believe that Oda always secretly planned for Buggy to join Luffy's crew by series end. And honestly, the framework is there. Could Buggy be our next crew member? What do you think the chances are? I personally think it's going to happen. I love Buggy. Number 3. Onigashima is the core of Punk Hazard. The origin and past of Onigashima are things Oda has set up to be mysteries that he will give an answer to at some point. Also, if you recall correctly, the core of the island of Punk Hazard had a giant hole in it. We originally concluded that Aokiji and Akainu made that hole, but what if it was Kaido? After all, Kaido has shown he can make the island float. We also know he was experimented on by Vegapunk, whose home base was in Punk Hazard for a time. Considering that is where the failed artificial fruit he made was, it is likely the experiments were conducted on Punk Hazard. Also, Onigashima boasts the skull of the most massive supergiant we have ever seen. And do you remember what the main focus of Punk Hazard's research was? Ancient giants and gigantification. The pieces all line up a bit too well, if you ask me. Kaido seems to have stolen the middle of the island during his escape. Number 2. Im is Joy Boy. This isn't something that has a ton of evidence behind it, but it is a fun speculation. Many people have speculated that Im and Joy Boy were ancient rivals, and that Im somehow had the immortality surgery conducted on him or her. However, I have also seen speculation that Im is actually Joy Boy, which would obviously have very dark implications. After all, despite all the fan theories and speculation, what we actually know about either of these figures is nearly zero. We don't even know what Joy Boy looks like. We actually covered every detail we have about the man in a separate video, if you want to check that out. It's a pretty short video. Even so, the very concept of a man who we assumed was an ancient hero turning to the dark side and opposing Luffy at the end of the story makes for a pretty neat twist, if you ask me. Number 1. X marks the spot. Oda loves his pirate cliches, or he did when he started writing the story. As we've progressed, things have gotten a little more fantastical than they were in the times of Peg-Legged Zeph and Hook-Handed Crocodile, who is an obvious reference to a famous pirate. But remember, Oda planned the end of the story way back then. So, where is the most logical place for the One Piece to be? Why, on the giant X, right where Mary Joie is. This may sound crazy, but do you remember what Doflamingo said? He said that there is a treasure there. A treasure that if people discovered was located there, the world would be changed forever. I only know one treasure like that. the One Piece. Top that off with the fact that he talked about the race for the One Piece to be a battle for the throne, and it just seems like he knows something pretty big about the story. Of course, this is highly speculatory, but also very possible. And more importantly, since that was something we've guessed at, it probably isn't the answer, but that raises the important question. If it isn't the One Piece, what is the earth-shaking treasure at the summit of the world? And that's it for the 5 possible theories about One Piece that could be true. What do you think about them? A lot of One Piece theories are pretty crazy, but these ones actually might have potential. Thanks for watching. We'll be on break next week. Don't forget to join our Discord, link in the description. If you're waiting for Where Are They Now Part 2, do not give up hope. We are still in the process of making that, as well as all of the other videos that have been requested. It's actually kind of crazy. We weren't expecting to have so many requests for videos.
Early on, I was waiting to make Where Are They Now Part 2 until we got another update about what's going on in the world outside of Wano between Act 3 and 4 of Wano, but it's been a really long time that we've been waiting for that. I don't know if Act 3 is ever going to end, so I might have to just release it sooner than I anticipated.
Also, we have to release a follow-up to our live-action One Piece video because, as you know, things are not as they seem with that show. But the thing is, there really isn't that much information we have to work off of, so we're gonna see if we can dig a little bit deeper into that. Anyway, if you don't want to miss any of these future videos, don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, all the usual mumbo jumbo, and we'll see you next time.
Geigo, Geigo! Hey there!
Don't leave without subbing.
Hey there!
Don't leave without liking.
Hey there!
Don't forget to comment. Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell.